y'all, welcome back to ShawnaRae, cooking and cleaning for busy moms. Today is going to be a quick and short video all about cast iron skillets. I got some new cast iron skillets recently, and so I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I seasoned them for the first time, so how I got them ready to cook in, and then also how I clean my cast iron skillet after I have cooked in it. So there's going to be two parts to this video. The first part is how to season it originally, and then the second part will be how I clean it for like everyday use. So if you are interested in getting a cast iron skillet or just need to know how to deal with them, make sure you stay tuned. And since becoming a mom, it literally is like I found my purpose.
So to get started, first off, I'm just going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees. And then I'm going to take my brand new cast iron skillet, I'm going to take off the little handle, and I'm going to go ahead and wash it. Since it was mailed to me through Amazon, as well as just sitting in my cupboards for a while, it's a little bit dirty. So I'm just going to take soap and hot water and a soft scrubber, and I'm going to go ahead and scrub it gently and just wash it out and make sure there's no like dust or particles or anything left on it. And I'm going to do this for both of mine. I did get two new cast iron skillets in the set that I bought. The specific set that I got is linked in my Amazon shop, which is in the description box down below. I think it's $45 for two. This is a 12-inch and then a 10-inch pan. So once they're all clean, I did take a towel and go ahead and dry them off completely. You don't want any water on them, so you want to make sure they're completely dried. And then once they're dry, it is suggested to use vegetable oil to season them. So I did take some vegetable oil and pour that on the pan quite a bit because you're going to want to coat the entire pan. So not only am I coating the inside of the pans, I'm also doing the handles and the bottom of the pans as well. You want to make sure the entire thing is coated really well in oil. So this does take quite a bit of oil because your cast iron is it's really thirsty right now since it's so dry. So it's really going to suck that oil up. And I just used a paper towel to rub that around. Once it is coated in oil, you're going to want to put it in your pan, in your preheated oven upside down. Some people did put a cookie sheet below theirs for any oil that might drip out of the pan. I did not. I just set mine directly on the rack. That's completely up to you. And I'm going to do this for both of my pans. So once I put those in the oven, I did let them bake for about an hour, and then I let them cool completely in the oven before I pulled them out, and then I let them cool even longer out on the counter before I went ahead and stored them. And they looked really pretty and seasoned, and like they didn't look too dry or anything because the oil really like put a nice coating on them. And now they are ready to use and cook.
So now that we've gotten my cast iron skillet all seasoned and ready to cook in, let's go ahead. I cooked dinner in it, and now I'm going to share with you guys how I clean it after I cook. You don't want to use any soaps or anything on your cast iron skillets, so I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys how I clean it.
As I mentioned, you don't want to use any kind of soap on your cast iron skillet. So here you can see I cooked some hamburger meat in here, and I wanted to wash this as soon as possible. So as soon as I was done cooking in it, I went ahead and washed it. And I'm just going to take some salt and I'm going to sprinkle that in there, and then I'm going to take a paper towel and gently rub it around to get anything that's kind of stuck on off. And besides the salt, I'm just going to be using hot water to rinse this out and get anything that's stuck on there out. You don't want to use soap on your pan because the whole point of cooking with cast iron is to get those seasonings into the cast iron, and it just makes your food taste so good to have those leftover seasonings on there. So you want to make sure and not use soap. If you ever do have to use soap to get something that's really stuck on out, you do want to re-season it like we did in the beginning. Once you get everything off of there, make sure you rinse it really well, and then you're going to want to take a towel and dry it off until there's no water left in it. So I used a paper towel and just really dried it out. And then before you store it, you are going to want to put a little bit more oil on it. Since I usually cook with olive oil, that is the oil that I usually use when I'm storing it, but you can also use vegetable oil like we did in the beginning. So I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil on here and then rub it around all over the inside. And occasionally I'll do the outside as well if it's looking kind of dry. And that's how I store it, is I make sure and I get it all nice and oiled up before I put it away. Another tip for cooking with cast iron is you don't want to scratch it, and so you don't want to use any metal or anything like that. I like to use these wooden utensils to cook, and I got this set off of Amazon. It's $15 and linked in my Amazon shop, which is in the description box down below.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video all about my cast iron skillet. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments down below and I will do my best to answer them. If you're interested in knowing where I got my skillets, they are off of Amazon. There is a link in my description box to my Amazon shop, and they are listed in my Amazon shop underneath cooking and baking, as is any of my cooking and baking materials that I use on a regular basis. So make sure you check that out. If you guys like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button. We'll see you guys next time. Bye y'all.